What if I told you that America's energy future just got hijacked by Canada? Yes, the land of maple syrup, hockey, and suspiciously polite people just made a move that could shake the very foundation of the US economy. And no, this isn't a prank from a Tim Hortons drive-thru, this is real. Now if you thought Canadian drama peaked at Justin Bieber's teenage years, buckle up, this is way bigger. Canada just slashed its oil supply to the US, leaving Washington scrambling for solutions. But why? What does this mean for you, your gas prices, and, most importantly, Trump's blood pressure? Stay with me because this is about to get wild. Titled The Shocking Move, Why Did Canada Cut Oil Supply? On screen text, title card introducing the main topic. For decades, Canada has been the US's #1 oil supplier, making up nearly 60% of all US crude oil imports. The US and Canada's energy relationship has always been strong, almost like best friends who lend each other money without keeping track. But suddenly Canada is pulling back, and it's not because they're running out of oil, no, this is a calculated decision. So what happened? First, Canada is shifting toward a green energy future. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government has been under intense pressure from environmental activists and global climate policies. Canada has pledged to cut its fossil fuel emissions and is trying to phase out oil dependency by investing more in renewables. Second, trade tensions and domestic politics. There's been growing frustration in Canada over how much oil they send to the US while struggling to get their own energy policies in place. Some political analysts believe this move is also a push for leverage, ensuring Canada has more control over its energy exports. And third, let's not forget pipelines have been a political nightmare. Remember the Keystone XL pipeline? That massive oil project that Trump approved, then Biden canceled on his first day in office? Yeah, that decision still stings in Canada. Many Canadian oil producers felt abandoned and started looking for alternative buyers outside the US. So now with Canada cutting back oil exports, the United States suddenly finds itself in a very uncomfortable position. Gas prices are climbing, inflation fears are growing, and the energy market is looking shakier than ever. And that brings us to the next big question: what does this mean for the United States economy? Title: The Immediate Fallout. How bad will this get? On screen text. Title card introducing the economic consequences. Let's talk numbers. Because the effects of this decision are already hitting Americans where it hurts most, their wallets. Just days after Canada announced the cutback, crude oil prices jumped. Gasoline prices rose by 15 to 20 cents per gallon, and experts warn that we could see $5 per gallon prices again if this trend continues. And it's not just gas. When oil prices rise, everything else gets more expensive. Transportation, food production, airline tickets, even Amazon deliveries could cost more. Now here's where it gets even messier. The Biden administration is scrambling to figure out an alternative, but the options, let's just say they're limited. One option, beg OPEC to increase production. But OPEC, which is controlled largely by Saudi Arabia and Russia, has already cut production in recent months to keep prices high. They're in no rush to help the US. Second option, turn to Venezuela. Yes, the same country the US has sanctioned for years. The Biden administration tried this in 2022, and let's just say, it wasn't exactly a success. Venezuela's oil production is still struggling, and their government isn't too keen on playing nice with Washington. Third option, drill more at home. But that's a whole different battle because Biden's climate policies have made expanding US oil production politically complicated. Any move to drill more would upset environmental groups and climate-conscious voters. And that leaves us with the biggest wildcard of them all, Trump. Scene 5, title card, Trump's reaction. If there's one thing Trump loves talking about, it's energy independence. And this Canada situation, it's like a gift-wrapped campaign talking point for him. Within hours of Canada's announcement, Trump blasted Biden for failing to protect America's energy security. He called it a disaster, demanded the return of Keystone XL, and reminded everyone that under his administration, the US was a net energy exporter. So what does this mean for the 2024 election? This oil crisis could massively boost Trump's campaign. High gas prices are one of the biggest economic pain points for voters. If Americans feel like Biden's policies are making things worse, Trump and the Republicans could capitalize on that anger and make energy policy a top election issue. But this isn't just about politics, this is about global power. The global energy war, who really wins? On-screen text, title card introducing the global perspective. While the US scrambles for a solution, two countries are watching very closely, Russia and China. Russia, already a major oil exporter, stands to benefit if the US struggles to secure stable energy. Higher oil prices mean more money for Putin, which could help fund the war in Ukraine. And then there's China. China has been quietly increasing its oil deals with Russia and the Middle East. With Canada reducing exports to the US, China could step in as a major buyer, strengthening its influence over global energy markets. If this trend continues, we could see a shift in global power where the US becomes more dependent on foreign oil, while Russia and China build stronger alliances with energy-rich nations. The big question, what happens next? This isn't just a one-time crisis, this is a turning point in US energy policy. The choices made in the next few months could shape America's economic future for decades. Option 1. The US pushes for more domestic oil production, reversing some of Biden's climate policies. But that could anger environmental groups and cause major political fights. Option 2. The US increases imports from places like Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, or even Iran. But that could come with serious diplomatic and political consequences. Option 3. The US accelerates its transition to renewable energy, but can solar, wind, and nuclear really replace oil fast enough to avoid an economic crisis? Right now there's no easy answer, and that's why this story is far from over. So, what do you think? Should the US ramp up drilling to regain energy independence? Or is this the moment to go all in on clean energy? And most importantly, who's really to blame for this crisis? Canada? Biden? Global politics? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest stories shaping our world.